welcome. We are here with Chrissy's Life Essentials, and I love that name so much because she covers everything of life's essentials, whether it be essential oils for home remedies, low tox living, or wholesome whole meal cooking. So tell me, what are we making today? What on earth is this?
This is our sourdough starter. Okay.
I like sourdough.
So it's a culture. It's a living, breathing thing. We have to feed it, otherwise it'll die.
What's in it?
Okay, so we've got a basic flour and water, but it's organic flour.
Okay, why organic? Why do you use organic ingredients here, like flours? And what type of flours are we talking about?
Okay, so I like spelt flour. So spelt is more of a whole food. It's a whole grain. The reason we use the organic flours and the organic seeds, if we can, is organic's way better for you. There's no traces, any chemical, pesticides,
Yep.
no nothing.
So a bit nicer on the system.
Way nicer
And
on the system.
as far as spelt goes, is that also why? Because it's easy to digest and better for people with allergies and intolerances?
Yes and no. So I would say probably yes.
Okay, I like that idea. All right, so here's our culture. What do we do with this?
Okay.
How long is it in here for?
So this can sit in here for months, years.
What?
Yeah,
Okay.
but as long as you keep feeding it with a little bit of your flour, you have to feed it probably once a week. And again, it depends on temperatures.
Yes.
And
storage.
all your conditions.
Yeah,
Okay. So you can store it in the fridge. If you
Makes
want to slow
sense.
it down, you stick it in the fridge. If you're going away for a bit, stick it in the fridge. Put a bit of spoon of flour, teaspoon of flour, and away you go.
Oh my goodness, it's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so get to know your culture.
Yeah.
Create a culture, and then what do we do with it after we've had it sitting, fermenting,
Okay, so
cultivating?
what we do is we use it. We're going to stick it in our bowl, and we're going to start to make our bread. This is our
Alrighty.
process, the
Alright.
first process.
Don't worry, we'll put all the details below for you.
Yes.
How do we do this?
Okay,
How
so
much of it do we need?
we need it all. We want this. So this is a cup that I've previously taken from this.
Okay.
This is what we start with. So this is our culture.
Right.
So we start off with this. I might actually use this spoon here. Okay, we'll pop it all in.
Cool.
So it's about a cup.
It's really kind of thick and gluggy and gluey, but smooth at the same time.
Yeah, and you
Alright.
can also see, what else can you see in there, Kaz?
Oh, I want to say bubbles, but...
They are bubbles.
Oh,
that's
the
exactly
answer.
what
Okay.
they are.
All right, well, that makes sense.
Okay,
All right,
so that's
perfect.
part of the fermenting process.
Alrighty,
Okay, we want to see those bubbles. That means it's active, it's working, it's
okay.
alive.
perfect. What's
Cool.
next?
Okay, we're going to pop that in there. Okay, so this now, we have to add our flours. And
Alright.
normally I work on a ratio of, I do 3 parts. So that's how I learned to do it. They said 3 cups, but I don't do 3 cups. It doesn't work for my tins, so I just make it
That's it.
to suit me.
Love it.
And it's all about,
All right, so we've got wholemeal spelt going in
we've
first.
got our wholemeal spelt.
And how much is that including in?
So this is a half a cup.
Half a cup.
This is a half a cup. They use
Alright.
1 cup, but I use half a cup. Okay, so we just do one of
Do you want
those.
me to stir or anything for you?
You can if you would like to.
A spoon or a spatula, a wooden spoon, doesn't matter.
No,
Okay.
doesn't matter.
All right, so stir that in for you.
Yeah.
Next one is
We
stone
are
ground
putting in
wholemeal.
Stone ground wholemeal.
Okay. Oh, I've never made bread before, ever. I am totally the shop person. My baking skills are poor, and I don't measure anything. If the kids want muffins, I'll chuck in some flour, fruit, coconut oil. I don't use butter or sugar generally, maybe a bit of organic maple syrup. And I whack it in the oven and hope for the best. So I'm thinking with this I need to probably practice a little bit, understand the culture, get used to it, and start saving money on my store-bought, number 1. Eating cleaner, number 2. I'm sure it's going to taste amazing as well. All right, so now we've added our flours, our 3 different types of flours. What's next?
Now again, we're going to add 3
Half cups?
half cups.
Okay.
Again, so we do same ratio, basically the same. And we go off what it looks like. So it's more textural.
That's my kind of
Getting
cooking.
getting to know what it's like. So you don't want it to be too thick, but you don't want it to be too runny. So
Okay.
basically it's 3, but sometimes it's just a little bit less than 3. So I'll go 2.5.
That looks nice. I
Okay.
can see what you mean there about not too wet, not too dry.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Perfect, so it's a little bit of a mix.
Yes, you keep mixing that. You've got to mix it all in.
I love that I don't need a professional mixer here or
No,
anything
we don't do
fancy.
professional mixing. It's all full elbow grease. Good workout for the arms and the body.
And anyone can do this, even me. I mean, today you don't even know it, but we have we're having 3 kids at our feet and running around the house here, so it's a bit noisy, but that's what it is.
Part of our essentials.
Yeah.
It's our life essentials.
Kids tick, bread tick. Right, that looks really nice, if I don't say so myself.
Yeah.
Mixed a nice little culture and bread and water mix there. Now, what else do we add?
Now, this has to sit. So this now, you'll be able to see, well, you probably can't see.
Look, see.
You can have a look in there. Not much happening, but you'll be able to see eventually there'll be some bubbles happening in here. So
Okay, so
this now has to be set aside and approximately left probably till the end of the day. So you're looking at probably sort of, I don't know.
Should we put a towel over it?
Yep,
Yeah.
I'm going to put a towel over it.
And that's it, doesn't have to be warm or just
No,
in
you
our
just
temperature
leave
is
it,
fine.
leave it at your room temperature.
All right, for a day. All right, thanks
For
for
the day.
Thanks
So
for
what
coming.
you want to see that do, so normally I'll put a little bit of a line on this bowl because it's got no lines on it, whereas this one does. And then I can see that it's actually risen. And I want to see it rise, basically double in size. Okay, so this one has already been rising. So this one I did last night. It's been sitting overnight and it has risen. I've taken a cupful out, which was the starter that you just seen us put in there, and it has now been utilised. So it's dropped a little bit, but I don't know whether you can see in here. You might be able to see in there. There's lots of little bubbles.
Bubbles, remember, bubbles is the key.
Bubbles is the good thing.
All right, and I can see myself getting used to this idea of, you know, starting this, leaving it just in the fridge, like you said, feeding it and just using a bit when I need. And if I'm going to make bread for school, you know, I'll do it over the weekend. So I could do that, and then I could do that the next day, and then I could do that and then chuck it in the oven. So I could kind of make it a weekly thing rather than running out of bread on a Friday, dashing to the shop, getting everyone in and out of the car. I could start thinking ahead and just culture one day, setting it the next day, baking it the next day, and Monday morning we've got nice fresh bread.
That's exactly what
Right,
we do.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so what next?
Okay,
What are
so
all these?
these are all our different seeds. So some of these I don't always put in, so because I've got a little one who's 2, so I don't always put my pumpkin seeds in, and I don't always put my sunflower seeds in.
Fair enough.
Sometimes I do. If I'm going to, it's normally sunflowers, not the pumpkin. I normally sprinkle those on top.
I can see chia seeds here. I love chia seeds so much. Do you activate your chia seeds?
Yes, we activate all the seeds.
Yes, why? Why? I love activating, but you tell us your version of why you and your family activate. Why not just have them raw right now?
Okay, so when we activate our seeds, there's something in our seeds called phytic acid. Okay, and the phytic acid stops our bodies from actually absorbing nutrients. So when you soak them or you sprout them, so for me, the
Tri-colour quinoa. I love my quinoa. As you know, this is dry, so everyone uses how you buy it in the store. But then, what do you do?
We also have your raw buckwheat too.
Oh yeah, buckwheat's
so my
really
buckwheat
good
and
for
my quinoa, I actually cook slightly.
Oh, good idea.
For about
So-
6 minutes because it sprouts it.
And that's how your quinoa will look when it's
Yeah.
cooked. So there actually is tiny little sprouts popping off the edges of the quinoa. So little white tails, if you like. Okay,
They
so
are sprouted. So that is what I do. I pop, once I've done those for about 6 minutes in the microwave, I pop them in the jar. And these I put enough water in for the other seeds as well. So I put about, I don't know, 2 tablespoons of each seeds. Pop them in the jar with the water, put them in the fridge. Just leave them there overnight. Okay.
perfect. So much wholesome goodness there. So nourishing for you and really good for your gut health as well, to incorporate as many seeds, nuts, legumes into your diet as possible. We try, that's for sure.
Exactly.
Hide them in pasta dishes and yes, breads and baking, and just make little trail nut mixes on the side to take every day as well. Yeah, awesome. So yeah, sunflower seeds, you've got linseeds, hemp seeds, pumpkin, quinoa, buckwheat. Go crazy.
It will go.
All right.
Well, we've got
Should we
it
add
gives us a
some
boost of
to
protein.
this? Are we going to
So,
add some today?
we're not going to add these dry ones. We're going to
Okay.
add our previously soaked ones and previously sprouted. So you can put all of those
Did
in
you
there,
say? How
No,
much did you
all
say?
of it. All of it.
All of it?
All of that goes
I
in.
love it so much.
Yeah, that all goes in.
Now, apart from seeds and nuts and maybe even dried fruits to get creative.
Oh, for sure.
I know what I would add now. I am essential oil crazy.
Yes.
And I know Chrissy's loving this as well. So what are some essential oils maybe that we could add?
So today's mix, what we're going to do is we're going to do rosemary and oregano.
Ooh, okay. Now I know from cooking with rosemary and oregano, my hot dishes and pastas, they are quite strong. So I know, especially with doTerra being 100% or over pure and tested, that we only need like just 1 drop at a time. How much would you put in bread?
Only 1 drop.
Still, okay.
Still only 1 drop.
I love it. So oregano, you can pop that in. I'll pop the rosemary in.
Okay.
Oh, so good. Maybe rosemary could be good for Anzac cookies as well, or scones. I'm nervous. I don't want to put more than 1 in. There you go. We did it. Oregano, also really good for cleaning. How good's that? I thought of some other ones that we could use. Lemon. You could do like a nice fresh lemon one and serve it with a creamy feta. Ooh, yes, please. How about ginger? There's a nice fresh ginger in it as well. Oh, our new one, which we just are loving so much. I'm completely out of it. It's empty.
I'm in love.
And Madagascar vanilla. You can also make perfumes with this as well. Yes. How versatile. And cinnamon bark. This does go in all my baking. If I don't know anything, it's to grab my cinnamon bark and put a drop of that in all my baking, and I know I'm done. Basil. That could be another one as well. Make like a more toasted bruschetta style with tomatoes. Yum. Okay, do I need to mix?
But we'll get back to these oils again later because we're going to use them in something else. But that's for another day.
Oh, like something.
We're going to do something else.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so how much mixing? This looks amazing.
So, mix.
I'm going to show you guys this. I would love to have some really beautiful, wholesome bread with all of this quinoa in it. Okay, how's that look? Okay?
That's looking good.
Smells good.
Looking good.
All right. My goodness, we're so winning with children being quiet that we're going to quickly try and wrap this up because we're absolutely winning. Okay.
Righty-ho.
Alrighty.
Okay. So last step, we need to stick 3 more half cups in.
Alrighty.
Okay.
I can do this. Here we go. Back to the drawing board. White flour. Now, does it have to be perfect?
Nope.
Okay.
I don't do perfect.
Is that alright?
Yes.
Alright. You don't sift it or anything
No.
either? Lovely. This is
I like easy maintenance.
absolutely my jam. I can see myself with these 3 beautiful flours on my bench top and just constantly making different breads.
And that's the thing, it's great experimentation. You can use different flours. You don't have to use them.
The kids would love this, actually.
Yeah.
I can
It is great fun.
No.
And it's great science for them.
Well, yeah, that's
great learning.
yes, the fermenting process
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, for sure.
Alrighty, winning. Love that so much.
You can also teach them about having to, I don't know whether you've ever seen in the school kids and they have to look after an egg for so long. You can get them to look after your starter dough and they have to feed it. And
Totally
water
reassigning that job to them.
it. Yeah.
That's great. Alright, I think I'm getting a workout. Am I doing it okay? Do I need more water? I feel like it's a bit
You will
dry.
probably need some more water now. So we've got to go for the 3 again. So 3 half cups of the water.
Alright.
And I normally use lukewarm water. It just helps with the fermenting process.
I'm so glad that we're going to post this recipe below because I'm going to forget this. But I'm so glad I've had this hands-on. I've always wanted to do this. Thank you so much.
All right,
I'm
you're
excited
welcome.
for
I love sharing.
more to come. More types of DIYs at home.
Exciting.
We could make our own body butters, facial serums, shampoos, all of the life's essentials. Okay, so we're back now, and this is mixed in perfectly. We added more flour, more water, and it looks amazing. So, oh, I can smell those oils now. Incredible. All right, so pop it in.
So, pop it into
Do I
the
need
pan.
like a spatula or anything? Am I
Well, if you
good?
want to use a spatula, you can, but you don't have to.
Perfect.
Again, it's just personal preference. I know there'll be lots of people out there going, hey, don't waste that dough. Get the spatula in there. But we don't have to. It's all about doing what you can, when you can. And we've got kids, so it's fast. We've got to be fast.
I love it.
Okay,
All right,
now
that's beautiful.
we cover this. Okay, so again, this will probably rise. We want it to rise, maybe not fully half. So we'll leave this until this evening. And this is going to be ready for Kaz this evening. Kaz is going to bake this evening. And we'll,
Very good.
yeah,
Alrighty.
just leave that, put it aside.
Job done. Okay, love it. I love that I'm going to have like all these different breads lined up ready to go.
Now this is one that has been sitting overnight, okay?
I can see that's definitely a bit different.
It has risen, but it has dropped because it's been in the car. So its bubbles that it did have in there.
All right.
Dropped a bit. We're
In
going to
the
put it in the oven.
Yay.
So let's go to the oven.
Amazing. All right, so how long for and at what temperature?
We have this on about 170 degrees Celsius and we leave this roughly for about an hour.
That's all right. I can wait an hour for bread.
Yeah, well, you've got other things to do, you know, we've got plenty of things to do.
Or-
So while we're doing
I love when
we're
people
waiting-
come over with all their ingredients and free food. It's my favourite time of the
So
day.
here's one that I did. I made this the other night and I thought, right, we're going to get into this while we're sitting
Excellent.
here.
So this is what's going to look like in about an hour's time out of the oven. Harder or softer? Do you have a preference, and can you pull it out a bit earlier and later?
No. What you'll have to do is wait for
Smells
roughly
amazing.
about that hour. It's a slow process. Again, it's all about processes. So normally what happens is if you take it out too soon, you'll end up with your bread dropping and you'll end up with like an air bubble in it.
Oh, sure.
So you just leave it. It's like other things. You don't open the door. You don't open the oven. You just sit there and you leave it alone.
I love it. Amazing. All right, I love this. This is so fresh and so beautiful. I'm totally going to just take advantage of this right now because I'm starving. And you can put your favourite spreads on. Hey, we should get together and make some different spreads for breads.
What we're gonna
and,
do.
and dip. I find at home if I've got some fruit, veg, carrot sticks cut up, the kids will go for gold with dips as well.
Exactly.
So nice, fresh and easy. I don't want to make a mess.
And another thing we can add to our... Here's the one I prepared earlier. You know. So, again, I
I'm
was
sorry,
going
I'm
to say...
too busy eating. Oh my
eat.
gosh.
Talking about the basil. So, this is our basil essential oil. You can also put a drop of this in pesto.
Oh yes, please. We definitely need to look at that.
Yes.
All right, sourdough it is. This is a new staple in my home. Thank you so much for coming and teaching me
You're so welcome.
how to do this and for bringing me morning tea. I can definitely do this. Save so much more money. And
Yes.
stop eating white bleached bread and
Exactly.
all of those crazy marketing gimmicks that are out there when you're going to try and purchase bread as well. It's all it's blown out of proportion
There are.
these days.
There's another reason that we didn't talk about. So we didn't touch base on one of the things. Why make a sourdough? Why not just go and buy a store-bought? There's a huge reason. So one is if you buy a store-bought bread, a sourdough, they're not a true sourdough. Okay?
What?
Yeah, not a true sourdough. So they'll use part of culture. So they might only use like a spoonful of the culture that I've started with, but then they add a chemical. And
Preservatives, additives, yeah.
they have
Flavourings.
to because so what happens is they generally add I can't even think of the word of it now.
I'm trying to think of it too, but
Yeast, a commercial yeast.
yeah.
Okay, to make it rise faster, because they've got to pump the bread out and get it out and sell
And
it.
it's got to sit on the shelf for a day or two as
Yeah.
well to
Yeah.
longevity. Like most products have chemicals in them.
You'll actually
and then,
find that even though it's got no chemicals in it, will last
Oh, really?
probably over your store-bought bread
Oh,
sometimes.
amazing. And you're saving on plastic as well because
Exactly.
you're buying that plastic bag. When that's done, you generally chuck it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Sometimes. So, yeah, saving plastic and produce fresh.
Exactly.
And you know what went into it because you made it. So, yeah.
Exactly.
Amazing. Thank you, Chrissy, from Chrissy's Life Essentials. Stay tuned, subscribe below, and hear more and cook more.
Yeah. You'll see us again.